Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie, and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. Let's jump right in. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for your patience with me. It is Tuesday. Yesterday was a holiday, and I was traveling, got back in very early this morning, so I'm also a little bit tired. But thank you so much for your patience with me. So far this week, we have seen Pluto step back into its final retrograde of Capricorn in our lifetimes, and we also have witnessed Uranus going retrograde, actually standing still in the sky. It's a huge planet, so it takes some time. So yes, it's stationary now. I've looked at the geomagnetics. We've got a little instability there, and also with smaller earthquakes, quite a few of those, so all to be expected. Now, yesterday we had a new moon in the sign of Virgo, and it was at 11 degrees. It's ruled by Mercury. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is direct in shadow, but in the sign of Leo. So Saturn opposes this new moon. So at a time when we should be setting an intention for new moon energy, something that has to do with Virgo details, routines, health routines, that type thing. But because Saturn is opposing this new moon, we need to, there's like a reality check moment or a reason to pause, or something about our health or a detail is creating a pause, or something that needs to be reviewed, because Saturn is retrograde. Something's coming up that perhaps from the past that needs to be addressed. It is time for getting things done. This is Virgo, and Virgo likes things done well and practical means, and don't forget any details. So it is time to get things done, but it's also time to take ownership and review all of the details before we take action in a practical way. Then also today, just after midnight, we had Mars, which is in the sign of Gemini, squared Neptune, which is retrograde in Pisces. And it's kind of challenging energy, because Mars in Gemini has a really good idea. They, wants to take action on something, and then all of a sudden it loses its steam, because Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, and there's like a lack of mental clarity or a lack of direction. So yeah, what you thought you were going to be able to accomplish, maybe you can't, or there's just something getting in the way of that, getting sidetracked. It could be just that simple, just getting sidetracked and not being able to carry on like you wanted to. Then on the 5th this week, which I believe is Thursday, we've got Venus, who is in the sign of Libra. Her home is going to conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Yes, and then she's going to conjunct the South Node in Libra. Now, Venus in her home sign doing these sort of things leads me to believe we're going to have some relationship situations that need to be worked out. So let's break this down. So Venus conjuncting Black Moon Lilith, and this is the mean Black Moon Lilith, not the real, that's much more wonky to track. So anyway, the mean Black Moon Lilith is what I'm referring to. This could be a powerful attraction with certain intensity in relationships. It could be get your freak on, taboo bed pleasures could be something that you're interested in. I mean, if that's your deal, absolutely go for it. The one thing I would be I want you to be careful with, especially with being in the sign of Libra, her home sign, and then conjuncting Black Moon Lilith, and then the South Node. So the South Node in Libra is all about dysfunctional relationships. It's about codependency. It's about power and control in relationships, being controlled. looking out for others, because the balance in that relationship is not, it's not on, it's off. So giving all of yourself and getting nothing in return, these type themes are really going to be a problem for you. If in fact they are in your world, they're going to be pronounced. The South Node, when Venus in Libra conjuncts the South Node, it is all about, you know, codependency, wanting to manage situations using old means and mechanisms relative to relationships that just don't work. They just don't work. They're not going to work. Take care of yourself here. Make sure, because codependency is a real thing, we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. You know, the oxygen mask theory, take care of yourself first, then take care of someone else. If you see that you have a partner or a relative or someone that's relational to you and there's some issues cropping up, just be mindful of all of these things going on. Then also on the 5th, we have Mars is going to enter the sign of Cancer. He's going to have that freaky square with Neptune that's going to kind of make us feel a little disoriented. Then he's going to go into Cancer. And Mars in Cancer is very emotional. So you might find that it's very easy to become emotional with Mars in Cancer. It's also very easy to be highly protective of those you love and or your home and family when Mars is in Cancer. You could find that you are just solely motivated by your emotions, and if that's the case, balance that out. Mars is going to retrograde later in the year, going to enter shadow in October, so we're not there yet, but be aware that this is part of a larger Mars retrograde season that is going to lead us through 2025, mid-2025, I think it is May, April, May. So we're getting ready to engage Mars and a longer retrograde cycle that's going to help us with our passion. So we're getting started in this, but just be mindful if you find yourself getting carried away with your emotions overly so, just you might want to reel that back in a little bit. Then on Friday, we have the Black Moon Lilith is going to conjunct the South Node. So again, all week long, we've got these relational aspects popping up that is trying to help us understand dysfunctional relationships. So, you know, work through it as best you can. Step away from codependency or powerlessness in those relationships. That's the, you know, and or obsessions. Obsessions can fall under this. I just happen to think about that. Obsessions can be here too. So any codependency, any obsessions, anything like that, sit with it. Try to understand why it's there so that there's something that needs to be healed. We can do that also. Then on the 7th, we have Mercury, which is in shadow direct, as I mentioned, at 27 degrees of Leo, is going to square Uranus in Taurus. And this is the third and final square. We've talked about this. First one was on the 21st of July. The second one was the 18th of August. And now we're having the third square. What's different this time is Mercury is direct in shadow and Uranus is retrograde. So there's more things being added to these squares, or the information or the shocking news and surprising information that may come to light. Or this could actually be mind expansion too. This could be an awakening, a time of mind consciousness just expanding as well. So, but be mindful, because we've got Mercury and Uranus here. Be mindful of miscommunications, or, you know, if there's a miscommunication that really takes you by surprise, you know, ask for clarification. Definitely ask for clarification. But like I said, also expect, if you get a download, if you get a massive download that just wants your mind to expand, by all means, be open to that as well. That could bring this type energy to you as well. Then on Sunday, I believe, what is that? Yeah, it's the 8th already. The 8th, we've got the Sun in Virgo is going to oppose Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And, you know, this is our health service axis. And with Saturn going retrograde, most likely something from the past, could be a commitment. but something needs to be considered or recognized before you move forward. This is a pause for cause. This is Saturn and Pisces. That is, and it's an opposition. Again, it could be relational. I hate to say it, but the Sun in Virgo, we're dealing with that health service axis. So it could also be something like a sense of duty may pop up that is relative to like a health or a work routine that restricts you in some way, and you've got to figure it out, work your way around it. This can be very frustrating energy. Just be mindful. Take your time, relax, reflect as best you can, review, revise, reflect, because Saturn's retrograde, and handle this as practically as you possibly can, because that Sun in Virgo wants us to be practical and also mind our health in the process. So, but this can be a challenging energy. Just be aware of that. Well, that's all I have for you this week. Now, we do have the first of next week. I think it's the 9th. We've got Mercury is going to enter Virgo, and before the end of the month, Mercury is going to go into Libra. So things are moving fast. I decided to use the field tarot deck today because I wanted to get a vibe on the general field. We've got Uranus went retrograde, joining the other outer planets. We've got, I don't know, 4 planets at or around 27 degrees. So hey, let's check in and see where we've got. And the card that popped out is Innocence. 6 of Cups. Let's see what the book has to say. Innocence. The 6 of Cups the 6 of Cups represents joyful memories from the past and the purity of childhood. A past connection may reappear, or you may travel to an old home. Channel the child within you and enjoy the genuine fun and freedom that comes with it. Keywords: inner child, naive happiness, nostalgia, simplicity, and comfort. Quite frankly, I think that's a great way to use this energy this week. Become childlike. I think that's a great way to do it. Anyway, well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button and you will be notified. If you have any comments or suggestions, post them in the comment box below. You know I always like to hear from you. I hope you have a fabulous week of new moon in Virgo energy without very few restrictions, and a relationship that is beyond possible expectation for you this week. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.